Who am I? Graduated in 2007, went to the US in 2018, worked in the US for about a decade, core background, data science, business technology, data analytics, data warehousing, nothing what I'm doing today. So I was a traveler, loved working, loved playing sport, and loved exploring every opportunity that came by. Now, funny incident happened back in 2016. I was doing something completely opposite of what's supposed to be done in a Euro trip. I was very, very baggage heavy. We were in Madrid train station and we were almost, in fact, we missed our train. And the reason for missing our train was my overpacking. I was traveling with 5 pairs of shoes, one for walking, one for running. I was there for a couple of days of work, one for evening lounging, one extra pair if anything happened to these 4 pairs. It might sound very cinematic, but my wife was in the train and I was outside juggling that suitcase. A bunch of conversations about why do I complain so much? Why do I buy so much? Why do I have so many problems from my footwear started where I am today. Now, all I wanted was one shoe that could do it all. One shoe that could be used for light walks, minimal runs, minimal enough to be worn at work, comfortable enough to be worn in your launching parties, and take you everywhere. I thought this problem was just mine. But this train incident made me curious, made me starting to believe that this could be a bigger opportunity. Now, I'd been in India, went to the US, so I started just exploring. I started speaking to multiple people at work, started conducting interviews with friends, and just started researching with all the blogs on why do people don't struggle with footwear. When I started speaking to all these people, the problem was loud and staring in my face. Your work shoes are so uncomfortable, they're so snuggly, they're made with animal skin that most people at work can't wear them for 4 to 5 hours in a day. Your running shoes are so bulky that you can't wear it in the evenings. Your evening shoes are not durable enough for 12 to 14 hours in a day. So the question that I asked myself is, why can't there be one shoe that does it all? Just started with that. Something that can be termed all day wear instead of selling so many different types of footwear. Just that curious question. Now, clearly, I had no background in footwear, no background in building a brand, no background in selling a product. But this curious question made me believe when I found the opportunity and the problem statement deep enough, wide enough, where a business could be created. That's when I started traveling to different footwear hubs around the world. China is where the most amount of footwear is manufactured. South Korea is the place of invention of newer materials. I wanted to learn the art and science of what goes on behind making a product, behind making a great shoe. And what I found, everything that goes on in today's footwear is synthetic, plastic, made from animal skin. And all these materials do not decompose in our Mother Earth. They end up in landfills for thousands and thousands of years, creating massive pollution and having an impact in marine life. That's when I was looking for comfort, and all I found was plastic. Now, when I found this opportunity, I was looking for an ensemble. I was looking for a team. I was looking for somebody to believe in the idea that something could be built out of this waste and all the natural materials that existed within our ecosystem. That's when I reached out to my co founder, Amar, and pitched the idea of dreaming, manifesting, and building something that could be much larger than just a commercial transaction. I said, this is a massive opportunity. It's never been done before, but it's not impossible. Now, during this time, we'd spoken to a bunch of manufacturers, brand builders, believers, investors in India about the opportunity. Everybody said it can't be done. In a country where the average price of a footwear that's sold is 500 rupees, the question that was asked is, why would people care about a brand which is coming out of India and making products with fancy materials? Why would people move away from the Nikes, from the Adidas, from the Pumas, from the Skechers of the world and buy something that is meaningful? All the whys, all the no's made us even more passionate. In fact, it made me more curious. And the hunger started growing.
How do you stop the world from choking in plastic? Neiman's, the Indian shoe brand, decided to walk on them comfortably. As strange as that may sound, Neiman's is combating global plastic pollution by transforming them into shoes. Today, we generate 300 million tons of plastic waste every year. One way to reduce this is to limit and ease out production, which is logistically a huge challenge. But the next best thing is to give it a new lease of life. By choosing to make shoes from wastes, Neiman's has taken on a large promise to fulfill. They are creating footwear that are not just comfortable, but also manufactured with discarded plastic and other sustainable products using techniques that are coupled with ethical sourcing goals.
Close to 1.5 billion tires get dumped every year. These tires aren't biodegradable and they don't decompose in the ecosystem. Most of these tires end up in landfills, oceans, and dump yards, which cause a major breeding to mosquitoes, leading into diseases like malaria and dengue fever. So we wanted to play a part in using these recycled tires and crafting them into soles. Hence, all the durable properties from recycled tires are applied into our Eco Slipper line, making them an extremely comfortable and a durable range of footwear. We here at Neiman's would urge each one of you to tell your friends, family, your near and dear ones about a neighborhood Indian footwear brand that's changing how India wears shoes 1 feet at a time. None of the visuals that you saw here are AI. All the disturbing visuals of plastic waste, mosquito breeding because of tires, all the carbon dioxide that's emitted by the footwear industry is today's reality. And we believed, we dreamt of changing how traditional footwear is being made. Traditional footwear is all about synthetic, all about leather which comes from animal skin, which isn't flexible, which isn't very comfortable. But we not only wanted to create a business, but change how India wears shoes 1 feet at a time. With this belief, we've created India's first in several different categories. Now, ladies and gentlemen, these materials never existed. The ecosystem wasn't built. The manufacturing base was never there. People never thought of them to be applied to footwear. We were crazy enough, passionate enough, post hearing tons and tons of no's, speaking to over 200 investors, hearing no all the time. We still dreamt, we still believed that something could be built. We've launched India's first merino wool shoe, which comes from all natural materials, very, very comfortable, can be worn all through the year. We've created a shoe which is made with recycled plastic bottles. You're right, so all the plastic bottles that are kept here are thrown in landfills. We crush these plastic bottles, convert them into yarn, into an upper material, and make very, very comfortable shoes. We've also created a shoe with wood pulp that comes from cellulose fiber from trees, which are sustainably grown in very different forests. We've used tires that do not have a life in crafting soles for our flip flops. So, all the materials that had no life beyond the means, we gave them one. Hence, we call major of our collections relive. We use everything that is around us in crafting something that is meaningful. We truly dreamt of changing what's available, what's around us, and changing the norm. Now, like I said, right from the outset, the idea was not to sell just a shoe. The idea was not to do just a plain old one-time transaction with our consumer. The idea that we believed in, the idea that no one gave us a chance. Ladies and gentlemen, today in 7 years, has a community of over 90 lakh people supporting, buying, trusting, and spreading the word. In the process, this dream has now recycled over 5 million plastic bottles into shoes. Over 6.5 tons of tires have been leveraged in creating a super durable flip flop. Now goes back to the saying, right? A dream that's dreamt alone is just a dream. A dream that's done together turns into a mission, passion, and now an amazing brand. That's Neemuch. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen.